But you've got to consider price. The monologue retails for around £250, whilst the potato is less than £1. For me, the potato is the clear winner. Also, it has a soul. Hi. Hello, Internet. How is it going? How is my volume this evening? I have a new microphone. Sorry, let me take another swing at that very easy sentence. I have a new microphone. It's also very dark in here. Let's maybe do something about that. Imperator over on YouTube. How's it going, my dude? Yes, I have a new microphone. Oh, they were already on. That's disappointing. Never mind. I have a new microphone. This, the Dynacaster, was sent to me by the good folks at SE Electronics. This is not a sponsored stream. There will be sponsored content soon. This is not it. This is just a nice stream. Yes, let me know how the audio sounds. There are obviously... it's in a new position. I don't love that the arm is here. I think that maybe means... Oh, actually, it's not really in the way. I thought it was going to be properly in the way. What if I do this? Sorry, bear with. Could have done this in advance, but I didn't. That's actually alright, isn't it? You can kind of hear some of my hand noise, which I don't love, but, you know, for the sake of having a nice new microphone, I think we can make it work. There was a sneeze in the background. Maybe you didn't hear it. We're doing Synthwave tonight. We're doing some kind of Synthwave. I haven't really thought it through. I've got some instruments loaded up, and I thought it might be fun to do something with kind of vocal sampling. So we might go over to archive.org and just steal something. There is no problems with the voice. There is some noise in the background, very subtle though. There's always going to be background noise. I mean, there's a computer there, there's a NAS over there, there's a girlfriend over there. Like, there just will be noise. But I think actually, yeah, as long as the level's all good. Once we get into doing the music stuff, it'll be fine. So, I mean, let's start by making some music. So I sort of had I had like a bit of a chord pattern in mind. As you can see, I've loaded up some instruments. I need to remember that this microphone is much more directional than previous microphones. I thought about doing something kind of in A, and then to the, what was it, A, C, oh, there's a pick in the strings. That's why that sounded weird. It's a bit poppy, but it kind of works. Or maybe... well, yeah. You can maybe put that in and see what it do. So I've got a couple... I've got a couple synths loaded up already. I don't really have a starting point. We almost always start with drums. So let's do that. Let's not do that is what I meant. Noticing that I clicked on context instead of battery. Doesn't matter. Yes, let's open up some kind of pad inside of battery. It's a bit more sibilant, this microphone, isn't it? Maybe if I back off slightly, that will help. I'm still working out the kinks of this microphone. Let's go Retro Machines. I don't know, 700. Sign open. That's not a pad. Let's try and find a pad. actually. Quite like that. Yeah, screw it. Let's go with that one. We'll call that just keys. Spelled properly. So let's go in and let's try and work out that pattern. So it was A. Yeah, it's not a pad, but I changed my mind. I like this. So we'll go. So. Oops. Ba-da-da. Ba, 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 ba. We'll go Oxfire. Ba, da, da, da. Then it was C. Da, 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 da. So then that would be F, E. Maybe E. E7. Yeah. Nah. What if we do the same pattern just up in C? It's all just trial and error, really. So those can go up. Oh, is that weird? Because it would be that. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Let's add some kind of bass. Try it. Bass. So what even? A. Maybe we go up. Excuse me. Nah, let's go. What about that? Just trying stuff out, you know. Just trying it out, seeing what we end up with. Let's add in a bit of drum kit. Let's go digital. Man, I don't really use this for synthwave and stuff. Well, actually, tell you what. While we're, you know, if we're gonna do this, let's use some of the samples we have available to us. Because I'm going to end up using cymbals from here anyway. So why don't we just use some of these preloaded things, especially considering that we have synthwave in here already. So let's go kick drum. I quite like those two. We use both of them. So we'll perhaps do, I don't know, 4 on the floor. Let's use this one. Then let's move this. So then let's add in snare. I'll do. Maybe something like that. How does that sound? Oops. Just trying to put a tail on there. So when we have these kicks colliding with these snares, I'm going to bring down the volume a little bit. Perhaps not that much. So it's okay, it's a little dead though, isn't it? So let's shove everything through reverb at this early point. Effects channel to selected tracks, stereo, because I think the drum kit especially needs like a significant reverb boost. Cool, we're just going to then reduce the amount going to that send of everything that isn't drums. Maybe I prefer that as a standalone. Yeah, double it up. So let's do this, and then I'm just going to scrap that for the moment. I made a mistake. Let's do that. I think what we need is more of them, like dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Up to C. Better? Getting there. Yeah, that would be way too convenient, wouldn't it? Let's maybe use this for hi-hats. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right, Imperator. I'm not sure. I like that. Da, 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 da. I wonder if I can do this. Let's try that. So basically just keep it in AGA, 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 and then at the last bar, CBC, D. I'm also going to take these bass notes down. Kind of want to do that. Easy. Cool. Let's then build it out to another instance of Retrolog. Maybe we'll get some arpeggio stuff going on, and then we'll add like an actual pad. So inside of Retrolog, cool. Nice. Let's go up to 16 steps. We'll shove some octaves in there. It's a little abrasive. That's quite cool. Let's keep that going. Let's have like a little bit of LFO. Going to the shape there for oscillator 1. I suppose a way to copy. I suppose we could just repeat, couldn't we? Duh. So we'll go. Let's try that. So yeah, that kind of works. Quite like the percussive nature of that one. Yeah, that's nice. Oh, Retrolog is my absolute favourite, dude, because it does what you want it to do, and you know the patching makes total sense, and you can pretty much plug things into other things, but it's not like massive, which is kind of overwhelming to look at. Let's get rid of that contact for the moment, and then we are actually going to look at adding a pad, because I think it does need something else in there. Why did I delete an instance of contact? Because I'm going to use pad shop. That's why. Pad shop, yes please. So pad and then lead, and then that's like probably too much stuff in fact, but then we have the option to take stuff away. That's what I'm thinking. It's quite nice. It's not very synthy though, is it? Strings. Nah. Let's look for analog stuff. Okay. Better. So we'll just copy this. And then we'll just do one at every bar. Or maybe less than that. Dun, dun, dun. Bring that back there. And then we'll drop it an octave, I think. Maybe we'll have that A up there. We'll have these above the octave, so they're wider. Cool. I think this keyboard part needs like a bit more reverb on it. The brass, yeah, you're exactly right. It sounds a bit naked, doesn't it? Ooh. Sir. I sort of loved that reverse. So we're going to try and achieve that in a different way. With guitar rig. Because I know there's a really nice delay in here. I like that, just slightly out of time. Neat. Okay, so it's quite a lot of stuff, isn't it? So, if we wanted to build that out, how would we begin? I think we'd probably start with kicks, wouldn't we? Kicks and some kind of pad. I don't know. Do a couple of them. That might be too many. So that synth that arpeggio is going to fade in. Actually, maybe we'll have it come in before. Now we'll have it come in here. And let's try and avoid automation for the moment, because that kind of gets super complicated super quickly. And I think at that point we drop down to pretty much just the bass. Now we're talking. Ooh, good question. Let's just do a little drum fill here, and then I'll get right on your question. Actually, you know what? Maybe not. Asimaya, how's it going? Is there any difference between using audio tracks with audio files for drums and percussion than loading them into GA1? Yes. The way that I'm doing it here is actually the slightly less practical way to do it. I was just kind of doing it as like as a simple, easy visual way to just drag stuff on, because I wanted to just make a point that I was dragging stuff on from the Synthwave preset pack that comes with Cubase and just shove them on there. I did try to load them into Battery, but it didn't like it. Let's see if you can just drag stuff on to Groove Agent. You might be able to, you might not be able to, I'm not really sure. In fact, this stuff might already be loaded into Groove Agent. Well, I suppose it probably makes more sense to use this then, doesn't it? So I'm going to put that over here. I had 2 kicks that I was using. So that's the first kick, that's the second kick. And actually, it's interesting you said that at that point, because of the thing I was about to try and do, which is try to do a snare roll. But of course, when your sample is this long, when your sample is 2 beats long, and you want a snare roll on 1/8 notes, yeah, you know, you can't. Does the sound change? Sound does not change. So, for example, if I wanted to do this shorter, I'd have to make the sample pretty much the length of the whatever I wanted to do, and you lose a lot of the decay from the instrument, from the sample, excuse me. Whereas this way, no matter how many times I play that, it's going to sound, we're going to hear the complete sample over the top of the other ones, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to start off nice and easy. We're going to do the kick drum first. We'll do that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lots of that. Raise the velocity of the first beat of every bar ever so slightly. So you might get clicks if, for example, you start or finish the sample like that. If you just cut something out, quite often with samples, can I not stretch that out for some reason? What's happening here? There we go. If you, for example, were to start this sample playing, you'd get a click here because you're not, because you're finishing the sample halfway through a rarefaction, which is science for this. You get clicks when you basically don't fade in or out your samples, I suppose, is the easy way to look at that. So if I did that, I wouldn't get clicks. But you see here, we start all the way up here when actually we want to start, if I fade in, you'll see it starts in the middle of this line. I'm trying to explain it without using science words like compression or rarefaction, because that's not helpful to you. So it might be worth going and looking at the samples you're using if you're getting clicks. I don't know what else would cause clicks. Better to load them in the sampler. It depends. It entirely depends. I'm not going to tell you to do it one way or another. If I wasn't doing this little drum fill at the end here, I probably wouldn't have bothered. But I am doing it now. I was using a sampler for the hi-hats, which perhaps I could have thought of earlier, but I didn't. And now we're here. It's all good. There isn't really a right way to do it. Most of the time it depends on what you're trying to achieve, you know? So for these beats, we're going to go down to that. And we can do this. And actually, I'm just going to bosh, 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 like so. So, sound-wise, should be exactly the same. It's actually a little loud. Let's put a little drum fill in here. That works. I'm actually going to raise the velocity of all of these snares and all of these kicks on the one. Okay. Nice. So we don't have anything especially melodic at the moment. We could use this keyboard part. Oops, excuse me. I might just loop it and see if I come up with anything. Can I get a little more volume? Maybe we'll go for a different sound there. Let's use I was going to say something about the expensive stuff that we never use, but actually it's quite old. I need money to upgrade all my stuff. This is an old ass version of Reactor that I still think of as the new software, which tells you how often I update stuff. I'm a big fan of Razor. I think there's some proper weird stuff in there, but I sort of love it. Let's try... That's one of the worst things I've ever heard. If that was... If that had a load more release, that might be fun. Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah? Screw it. Let's go for a retrospective recording and just sort of add that in and see what we get. Jazz Dude, how's it going, buddy? If you missed that, that was using the retrospective record function to bring in that thing I played in the past, because Cubase is great. We just got to tidy it up a little bit. and then I think we repeat that. That's more about me not being able to play keyboard. Oh, I quite like that actually. So that was down to A there. Okay. Who's that last bit? I've got to say, I'm not a huge fan of this sound, but I know that it fits in and it blends quite well, because that's the thing with leads and a lot of times with guitar parts as well. They sound awful by themselves, but it's the context within the context within. It's the context of the piece that kind of matters the most. So I don't like this bit. We'll copy this over. How does that work? So, I'm a big believer in getting to the finish as soon as possible. I think one of the hardest things about making music is trying to worry about, oh, is this the right sound? Oh, is this the right melody? Oh, I've spent hours on this and I don't have a finished piece. One of the things that I think allows me to make music quite fastly is saying, that's good enough for the moment. Copy paste, what's the next section? So I don't love the melody. I don't love that there's no like trippy ass filtering happening on the arpeggio in order to introduce it. I wish there was some more nut stuff going on with the bass. I wish lots of stuff. However, for the moment it's fine. So I'm going to leave that yellow section there. And then I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to adjust, everything forever. Especially that kind of descending melody. I think I want that to evolve over time a little bit more, you know. So we're going to think about what the next section is. I'm actually going to make this blue, because I think we're going to use this kind of thing. My God. Oh, damn. That noise was brought to you by SE Electronics and the Dynacaster. Rumbly Tom. I'm so glad that the Cubase Nation Discord might show up with my gurgling tummy. That's wonderful. So we had this section here that I just pasted in the wrong place. Let's try that again. I think we're going to have something resembling a chorus, and then we're going to get to this section afterwards. And actually, this isn't the complete section, is it? Because we had another chord here. I think that was it. Cool. Wonderful. So we'll make that yellow because I want it to have more intricate drums than this section. Okay, so we want a chorus. Or maybe this is the chorus. So let's just start with kick drums, 4 on the floor. And maybe we just swap to like a really simple bass on the offbeat. So what about chords? I don't really use the arrangement track, to be honest, because I mean, if we were copying and pasting sections, having one after the other, and we didn't really evolve the sections each time we heard them, then yeah, maybe I'm going to do that, and I don't want to have to write the whole thing with an arranging track and then come back and have to ruin it all. Let's have a little think about, well, let's use the chord assistant here. So we've got, it's built into Cubase, so we may as well. If I tell Cubase that, we're A minor, so it is C anyway. Let's have a little look at the proximity over here. So perhaps I should use A minor as origin. Wonderful. Cubase have made it so easy. Right, so we've got this chord assistant here. I've told it that we're in A minor, and it's basically told us that this upper quarter, I guess, of the circle of fifths is what we want to focus on. Those all sort of work quite well. That's quite nice, actually. D minor to A. Bit cheesy, but sort of works. I kind of like it. It is cheesy, but it kind of sort of does it for me. So I'm just going to drag and drop these chords because that's a thing you can do. I'm going to use the time tool to move that, make that smaller. And actually I want to bring these chords in half a beat earlier. Nice. Not married to that last chord. So what was it? G. Yeah. G could work. With a C, perhaps. Let's try that. Whoops. Let's bring that up. Oh, and up in velocity as well. Fine. Let's do that. Do we want it descending? Yeah. I think F for that last bit. Mabes. Yeah, screw it. Close. No, it needs to go up. C. Maybe C. D. Asimaya, because the cheesy stuff was the catchiest stuff, and that's the stuff we remember. I think it actually was cheesy. I was there briefly. I was born in '89. Yeah, I think just we remember the cheesy stuff. I want this played on the pad. And I kind of want the keys to do it, but like with a little more, I don't know, a little more rhythm. Let's take those down an octave. ED. Then we can take these up an octave. So just because it's a wider voicing, basically. It's a bit grand. Yeah, it's quite an interesting voicing for that last one. So we'll go kind of off beats, I guess. Or maybe... does that sound? Nice. Okay, then we'll stick some bass in. Oh yeah, that should be... Sorry, let's open those together. Yes, that should be the new chord. Whoops. Pants. Yeah, that should be... same here. We'll have these chords higher, because I think, I don't know, it might sound nice to move up and down those voicings. Yeah. Let's copy and paste that a whole bunch. I've also completely forgotten the chords we were using. Luckily, Cubase knows for me. If I open a chord track, drag and drop, easy. So D, A, C, G. D, A, G. D, A. Yeah, I think that might work as like a pre-chorus, maybe. So I do want to have like a little drum fill going into that. So we're just going to take this drum fill up from earlier. Okay. So we have most of... Yeah, so this is going to be pretty much our structure. We're going to repeat this a couple of times. So actually, now that we don't have any automation, or because we currently don't have any automation, I can do this, and I can see what that takes us to 3 minutes 80. So then if I do this again, and then repeat this section, that's our track. Nearly 5 minutes long, which is probably too long, but yeah. So now the goal is we just have to differentiate these green sections, which I'm thinking of as verses, and then we need to, in these blue sections, build tension over time. We need to make them more interesting to listen to, no matter how long they go on for. I'll put that there, for example. So actually we could have that arpeggio throughout the whole of that section. Yeah, because it comes in here, doesn't it, in the yellow section. Right, so new wave isn't a new genre. New wave is, ironically for the title, a very old genre. New wave was essentially synth pop in the 80s. Which is confusing because it's new wave, but it was called new wave like 40 years ago. When music that's trying to sound like the 80s is like what I'm doing now, like synthwave. If it's got to have the word wave in it, otherwise it's not really a genre. It was new when they called it that. Yep. We can call it old wave, but no one's going to know what we mean. So it was called new wave back then, for sure. I think is that term a British term? Was it more British than American? I could be wrong. Not sure. Question for someone who was there. Right, so how are we gonna do this over time? We're gonna bring in some vocals as well. 100%. Okay, so that could be, yeah. The rest of the world might not know about new wave, but yeah, my partner's parents were in a new wave band for a while, which is one of the most unfortunate facts about our family. So we were talking about doing some vocals and stuff, and I think actually we've got this kind of green section, which I think the second repeat could be much more mellow. Oh yeah, it was way more about the style, but you could say that about punk as well. Punk was a fashion movement that had music in the background sometimes. I want to have like that kind of drum part maybe for the second time around. And then bring it back into that one. So we're going to colour this a different kind of green. This kind of green, just to differentiate it. And we might do that for the bass. I say it like it's a question because I'm not sure. We might need more release on the bass. You know, the more I hear that green section, the more I kind of hate it. How does the blue section sound? Blue section's nice. Yeah, so the whole like looking back on the 80s kind of wave of music is basically down to cyberpunk and a little bit Stranger Things. So that's called synthwave. But synthwave is more like what I'm trying to do now. Lo-fi hip-hop and vaporwave are kind of more like using those elements but in a very modern way. So lo-fi hip-hop is a lot more like it's got crunchy cassette distorted drums and samples and stuff, but in terms of the chords it uses, it has more to do with like neo soul and kind of contemporary jazz and sometimes microtonal nonsense. Whereas Vaporwave is just using like Microsoft startup noises as samples, which, you know, I sort of respect. I think there's too many genres. I think we need 3. I think we need gabba. I think we need hair metal. What's the vote for the third? If we've got gabba and hair metal, what's the third genre? You guys get to decide. I really like the blues section. I don't like the lead. I don't think I like the green section. Let's listen to it again. Just going from blue into green. Going in the bin. Absolutely hate it. So I'll maybe keep the drums. No. Okay, so let's have a think. We've got so that's just A. Did that thing again where I've got the pick and the strings. And then how does it go up? It's is that D major? It is D major. We're not in minor at all. We're in what? Dorian? Guitar is slightly out of tune. You'll have to excuse me. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian. Yeah, we're in Dorian. That's interesting. Okay, so we're actually not in A minor at all. I lied to you. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Dorian. I just hadn't realised that's what we were doing, which is why this section might have sounded janky. So, with that in mind, let's have another look at those chords in the doodad. So if we're not A minor, it's pants A Dorian, which is G major. Okay. Okay, so that D is really the thing that kind of brightens the whole thing up. That might be nice. I have said that before. 2, 3. Da, da. Yeah. Nearly. I don't really... I think it might be because I'm a guitarist. I don't really think in terms of borrowed chords. I would rather think about things of being in one mode in one moment in time and then another mode in another moment in time. I think if you're looking at things in sections, I think it's okay to say, it's okay to say, this is my approach, this is what has worked for me. Might not work for you. If you've got a verse that's in, say your entire piece is in A minor, and then there's one verse or the bridge or something where you say, actually, we're going to replace that D minor with a D major or a D dominant, then you could say, we're borrowing a chord from Dorian if we wanted to. But if the entire piece every time we come across that D minor, we make it a D major, just say it's in A Dorian. It's easier, you know? Cool. I'm going to raise those velocities like so and loop it. I'm just going to glue these together to see. That's quite a big jump there, isn't it? So actually, if we widen these chords, even just the E, we might have a better time. That's nice. I use an F chord. I don't know, do I? Didn't we bin the F chord? Yeah, we binned the F chord. It's gone. That was, I think we had an F and a D minor in the green section. And I think because we weren't respecting the Dorian nature of this track, I think that was the thing that made it sound weird. Because it sounded a bit like there was a key change, but in a bad way. So I'm going to go with this for the moment. This brings me joy. But there's not an F chord, so it's all good. I don't believe there is anyway. We can do a check. I'm prepared to be wrong, actually. C D A minor, C D A minor. Yeah, no, we got rid of the F because it sounded wrong, and now we know why. This isn't perfect, but this is better. So I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna go back to those offbeat basses, which I probably need to put down several octaves. Yeah, there was one before. Oops. A, C. Okay, so what was I doing? Yes, we had those kind of staccato chords here, didn't we? So what I might do is this kind of thing. Boom, boom, boom. For half of this section, C, D. Because then we can colour those slightly different. And then we'll have a different drum part, like the drum part we came up with earlier. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, so I mean, if you really wanted to, you could say the entire piece is in E minor. I wouldn't, because A is definitely the center in the blues section. So we could say green section's E minor. I don't think it necessarily matters what we think the tonal center is for this bit. It's just not really an issue. If I need to start a vamping, then it might become important, but we'll see. So progress, offbeat chords. That's what we were doing. So maybe in this green section. Maybe we keep those going here and then add the offbeat chords. Yeah, so I'm going to copy this bass part into here, because that just seems the easiest way to do. Oops. Oop. Nearly. Higher? Not that high. Let's shove it up there, but then bring these guys downwards. Let me send these. I like that a lot. So, this is getting there. Sorry, that's my thinking noise. I think I'm trying to put off like automation and stuff. I think it might be time. Automation thing number one. The bass in this section, this kind of pale green section, I want to have a lot more release. Because I like that where it is. Maybe I'll put a bit of glide on there. It's quite nice, actually. So we're just going to right click, release automation track, and we're just going to pump that up and bring it back down for this bit. I'm not even gonna ramp it, I'm just gonna do that. I think I'll make these a bit shorter. Yeah. And that might be too much, in fact. Oops, let's try this. Now, why are you doing that? Very unhelpful. Little drum fill. I think maybe we bring, snare as well. Maybe it needs it. Maybe it doesn't, who knows? So that doesn't work as well. Let's have another listen. I kind of just want to hold. Hold an Let me hear it going blue into green. What about from here? Okay, that's fine. Okay, what I'm going to do is bring in just a root note, just an A. Excuse me, I'm going to do that whilst bringing over the automation this time. Thank you. We're going to have an A. It's going to be crazy long. It's going to have a load of release on it as well. It's going to be like this. Yes. Very good. That's thing number one. We're going to go. Oh, is that where the F was? No. CD. So, the problem with that is that it comes in too heavy with the arpeggio and the keys, and it's just a bit too much too soon. So, we're going to start with the arpeggio. We are going to we're going to use automation there to bring that in, like so. How does that sound? So, yeah, the noise there isn't nice. So we're just going to automate that in independently, like this. Gasp. Nice. We're going to stick some delay on that because delay is awesome. We're also going to automate volume a little bit. Cool. So I'm going to lock those, and I'm actually going to make this clip just, what's that, 2 bars longer. So if I unlock these, I can then copy and paste those, and it'll bring the automation with it. It worked. I'm going to adjust these slightly for fun, just so there's a bit of variety in a way that no one will ever notice. I'll know it's there though, and that's what's important. Right, that's in there. Wonderful. So we can do a little more sound design stuff here. The keyboard part, I think, no modifiers assigned. So if I learn, you don't use mod wheel, do you? Fine then. Well, let's just see if it's already built in, because that'd be really handy. Guitar 1. Hey. Delay wet percentage. So we want it there most of the time. I want to start that entirely delay. Entirely delay? Yeah, entirely wet. So we should just get lots of delay sounds. Yeah, I think maybe if we, inside of the synth itself, we also make the attack a little longer. So if we go inserts, no, not inserts, excuse me, keys. Actually, I can just search attack. This one, thank you. So we pinpoint that down there. We make it longer. Real nice. So it's kind of has a similar effect to a fade in, but is much cooler, you know? Let's go back to this one and actually have that come in a little sooner. Very, very cool. Right, so show all use automation, grab that and shove that. Okay, so we have this here. So actually, maybe we don't need that effect this time, because we've already got that key part there. So it's less weird when it appears out of nowhere. Oh, I didn't bring the bass. I forgot to bring the bass. Right, let's try this. That's why it sounded so weird. Very cool. So I think that lead part, I'm a little used to it now. I think it's a little better. So we're just going to bring the volume of that lead part down a tiny bit. I'm also going to look at the EQ here and just see if there's any rogue frequencies. There are. That's a bit better. Neat. Okay, I'm getting happy with this as we go. Everything's kind of straight down the middle at the moment. So let's have a think about what we can do there. So we have... I think we can split the pad. I don't think that needs to necessarily be left or right, but I think it does need to be wider and quieter. The bass needs to stay where it is, so really the big culprits are the arpeggio and the keys. So let's go, I don't know, man, arpeggio on the left, keys on the right. How does that sound? And because we don't have those keyboard parts in here, we can actually have the lead slightly off to the right as well. Not as far as the keyboard part, but slightly. Cool. I keep saying about vocals and then not doing anything about vocals. So what we're going to do, we are going to go to archive.org, which is one of my favourite places on the internet. I was going to say in the world. It's not really in the world, is it? I'm going to be quite careful about showing you this because there are boobies on this site. So I'm going to look at things off screen and then bring it over. Archive.org is a bunch of free stuff, essentially. If it's on there, it's Creative Commons, essentially, which is great. So I'm going to go to the video section. I'm going to search for, I don't know, what's a synthwave topic? Data. I'm going to search the word data in the moving image archive. I'm not really sure what any of those are, so I'm not going to bring them over. So, okay, let me go one step back. The specific archive that I want to look in is called the Prelinger archive. Face go off. Community video. Where is P for Prelinger archive? It's not advertised. Why is it not alphabetized? Oh my god. Fine. I'm going to bring that over there. Prelinger archives. There we go. Yep, and I'm not. There's some boobies. Right, so let's look for inside of Prelinger archive. Let's see if there's anything about data. So I like the Prelinger archive because it's loads of weird black and white stuff. Lots of like educational films. The world of tomorrow. Okay, let's open the world of tomorrow. Part 1. You got any sound for us? Possibly not. Okay, good. There could be something wrong with the computer, to be honest. The Incredible Machine. Let's try the Incredible Machine. You got sound? Ooh, that was a noise. Come on. Maybe just download it. Oop.
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research.
New wave. Let's download that, because that line alone is kind of worth it. Are you going to download, or are you just going to sit there? It might just sit there. So we're going to use that as an audio track. Okay, I actually need you to download it, not just pretend you're going to download it. Come on now. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. There we go. Desktop. Sorry, this is just file management that I could have done earlier, but I didn't. 4 hours. It's only 14 minutes long. You don't need 4 hours. Maybe I could just... I might just be able to record in from here. Hang on, that was a mistake. Okay, so if we go... Are you coming through the focus right? Oh my god. This is not a big file. You should not take this long. Do you want to do it smaller? Come on now. Okay. Let's try a different format. 30 minutes. That's slightly more reasonable. I'm going to cancel the previous one. 40 minutes, 34, 39. You don't know what you want. 8 minutes. That's a little better. I'm going to let that do in the background and try not to forget it's there. So in the meantime, what can we do? We can do all sorts of cool stuff. Plenty cool stuff. One of my favourite things to do is to change voicings of chords that repeat. So we can start that here. In fact, we can make these chords wider by doing that. And actually that might shove that up as well. That might be too much. Yeah, we'll do that. So then this final time we'll have that same section. Just because it's a neat trick, it sort of gives a sense of building to something over time. So if we do that... We were going to do, is it the Haas effect to split that a little bit? So if I go into spatial stereo enhancer, pimp my pad, please. And that's an interesting effect because actually it feels louder even though it's not. so we can bring that down a bit. I do feel like we want some big toms or something, so I might see if I can load some in. Toms. Because we could go, we could go course up. That might work. We'll put these kind of stereo pan as well. And then maybe because all right, ding, 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 too much. Let's separate those out so they're nice flams. Thunk, thunk, thunk. Bit much. Maybe if I reduce the volume of those a little bit. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Good question. So, coarse and fine are both pitch. Coarse is like semitones, so like notes on a piano. So I could, let's say, if this is the note, I could go down one coarse semitone, and that's this. I could just go down in semitones like that. Fine is more like tuning. So this is pitch and this is then the fine tune. I suppose that's why it's called a fine tune, isn't it? Yeah. Maybe lost a little bit too much volume there. Thrunk, thrunk, thrunk. That's quite cool. Let's have that here as well. I feel like I want to add a little more kind of high end to those. I don't really use Groove Agent, so Maybe I don't do that. Oh, aux. Let's go aux 2 because I might use that for snares. Mixer. That's a send. Aux. Hello, aux. Aux 2. Aha. Aha. Yeah, screw you. Okay. Maybe just go EQ actually. I think a bit of EQ as well. Excuse me, a bit of reverb. Yeah. So we'll have send 1 maybe just doing reverb. Aux 1. Nice, okay. How's our stupid vocal doing? There we go. Right. If I can just find the folder. There it is. Right, so. Just going to drag and drop this on. It's going to take a moment because it's a film. And then we're kind of just going to scrub through it and try to find some weird lines.
Exploring the mysteries of the spoken word.
I mean, that's kind of fun.
Nice. Of a new wave of... We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. Our creative powers are being stretched.
I mean, we've got some beeps and boops in the background there, which is a little annoying, but we might be able to deal with that.
We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us. Exploring the mysteries of the spoken word. Exploring the mysteries of the spoken... Exploring the mysteries of the spoken word.
I mean, let's just take those and see if we can just add them in here.
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research.
I mean, it works, doesn't it?
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. Our creative powers are being stretched. We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us. Exploring the mysteries of the spoken word.
It works surprisingly well. Okay, so we can do a few things to help that stand out. I'm going to stick a maximizer on there.
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research.
I'm going to stick on Isotope Dialogue Denoise, which is a discontinued piece of software that is also one of the bits of software that I use on a daily basis for podcast editing.
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. Our creative powers are being stretched. We're at the beginning of a new wave. We're at the beginning of a new wave. We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. We're at the beginning of a new wave of research.
That's not really right for this one. That's fine. Let's do EQ. I'm just going to look for a vocal. Male vocal fullness.
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. our creative power. We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. Our creative powers are being stretched. We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us. Exploring the mysteries of the spoken word.
That's really cool. Let's... I wonder if we can do anything about... There might be a way. If I glue this together and treat it as one clip, I wonder if we can use spectra layers, or it doesn't like it being a clip within a clip. Okay.
We're at the beginning.
So, extensions, spectra layers, this might not work. I just want to get in there before it doesn't work and say that it might not work. It also might work and might be great. Is there a reason it isn't doing it? Okay, I need to double click. I need to undo whatever it is that means I need to double click every time I want to open something. Anyway, inside this spectral layers, we're just going to go, what is it? Layer, unmix vocals. Let's just see what it does for us. Are you going to take several days? No. So that's what it's removed, and we are left with...
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research.
Yeah, it's not quite, is it?
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research.
Maybe I try it again with less with more sensitivity. Let's try it. Sensitivity 10, 1. Okay. Between 0 and 1. I guess I want 1. Let's see what that does. Because this is an old ass sample. It might just not work.
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research.
No, that's fine. We tried. Never mind. Anything else we could do? Isotope. Hum.
We're at the beginning. We're at the beginning of a new wave of research.
Nah, it's fine. I reckon we might be okay. We might just be able to get away with it. Because it's a mono track. Is it mono? Oh, I see. Okay, right, yeah. Yeah, because it's not music in a traditional sense. We tried it. Didn't work. It's fine.
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. Our creative powers are being stretched. We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us. Exploring the mysteries of the spoken word.
So then let's take... Mistress of the spoken word is quite a nice line. Let's see if there's maybe some other bits that have got less going on in the background.
Working out abstract problems. It's a new way of working out abstract problems in the age-old medium in a dialogue that will test the ingenuity. They're about to engage a new breed of computer called Graphic 1 in a dialogue that will test the ingenuity of both men and machine. It's a new way of working out abstract problems in the age-old medium of drawings and designs, which explains why the technique is called computer graphics.
Computer graphics. Well, we found our second reverse twist, haven't we? Okay.
They're about to engage a new breed of mysteries of the spoken word. They're about to engage a new breed of computer called Graphic 1 in a dialogue that will test the ingenuity of both man and machine. It's a new way of working out abstract problems. It's a new way.
New way. New was heavier there, so we'll use that.
Ingenuity of both man and machine. It's a new way of working out abstract problems in the age-old medium of drawings and designs, which explains why the technique is called computer graphics.
I mean, the track's going to be called Computer Graphics, isn't it?
Computer graphics. Computer graphics. Computer graphics. Computer graphics.
That's really funny. Yes, we'll do that. Yeah, I'm not sure about trying to gate stuff. Let's while we're here, you know.
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research.
So if
Our
we
creative
go,
powers are being stretched. We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us. Exploring the mysteries of the spoken word. They're about to engage a new breed of computer dialogue that will test the ingenuity of both man and machine. It's a new way of working out abstract problems in the age-old medium of drawings and designs, which explains why the technique is called computer graphics.
I think we want a crap load of delay on that. So I'll go here. I don't mind a bit of high-end hiss, to be honest, because it's, you know, it's just adds a little interest up there. Oh, I did see, actually, an interesting technique I'd quite like to try out. I'll do this after the maximizer. Kind of just having a phaser, but like super kind of high-end. Modulation, phaser. So low filter, what are we calling high-end in this instance? Like 3K and above? You only go to 100K, that's fine. Well, let's try that out, I guess.
We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us. Exploring the mysteries of the spoken word. They're about to engage a new breed of computer called Graphic 1 in a dialogue that will test the ingenuity of both man and machine. It's a new way of working out abstract problems in the age-old medium of drawings and design. We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. Our creative powers are being stretched. We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us.
I don't love it, but I'll leave it in.
Exploring the mysteries of the spoken word. They're about to...
We can also have a look at, see where kind of his voice is, and then remove that from the pad, for example. Because pads are really there to fill in gaps between everything else, but if, you know, if it's taking up space, we can take away from it.
We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us.
So 136.
Exploring the mysteries of the spoken word.
And 500. So let's go. Uh, 136-ish. And 500-ish.
The technique is called computer graphics. We're at the beginning of a new wave of research.
That feels better.
Our creative powers are being stretched. We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us.
And actually, for that bit, we can automate that a little bit, can't we? Because we don't need it to do this the entire time. So 2 and 4, if I go gain, show automation, and 4 gain, show automation, we're going to want those down there for... That's volume, my bad. We're going to want those down there for these green sections. Not so much for these yellow sections. So I'm going to go green. Why did I do that? For the force of habit. Okay, so we're then going to go these. Yeah, just checking I'm not going mad. Oh yeah, okay, so we want another point there and there. So what that's going to allow me to do is grab these points around the blue areas and bring those up, maybe still minus like a tiny bit, but not much at all. And the reason I'm doing it that way is so that then I can use this curves feature. Is it called curves? I don't care. I'm calling it curves. I'm not worried about it being like super precise. I'm not worrying about it being identical each time. I just want it basically doing that job. And actually doing it this way kind of is a little more like someone scrambling over a mixing desk to make stuff work, which, you know, is what music is.
We're at the beginning.
That's nice.
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. Our creative powers are being stretched. We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us. Exploring the mysteries of the spoken word. They're about to engage a new breed of computer called Graphic One in a dialogue that will test the ingenuity of both men and machine. It's a new way of working out abstract problems in the
I'm going to bring that in for this yellow section because I think that's quite cool, actually.
Age-old medium of drawings and designs, which explains why the technique is called computer graphics. Computer graphics.
Yeah. I'm going to have another layer of delay on that as well, I'm afraid.
Computer graphics.
I'm going to have this here, yeah, we're also going to go for, I don't know, just like a ping pong, but like a longer ping pong. And we're also going to automate that in and out between what he's saying, between the actual dialogue. So I'm going to find points between points in the middle. So then we're going to bring down this to... Oh no, that's volume. Oh, I did it again. God damn, it's this one. Bosh, 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 bosh. So while he's talking, I want it to be like 7%, 7.3, 7.3, 7.3, 7.3, 7.3. So then I think actually that can be 37% there, and that can drop down pretty drastically like that. There may be an easier way to do this. I don't care. This is bringing me joy. That'll do, and then we'll bring that up as well, like there.
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. At the beginning of a new wave of research. Our creative powers are being stretched. We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us. Exploring the mysteries of the spoken word. They're about to engage a new breed of computer called graphic. We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. creative powers are being stretched. We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us. Exploring the mysteries of the spoken word. They're about to engage a new breed of computer called Graphic One in a dialogue that will test the ingenuity of both man and machine. It's a new way of working out abstract problems in the age-old medium of drawings and designs, which explains why the technique is called computer graphics. Computer graphics. Computer graphics.
That's fun. So we need second verse. What's at the end of this thing?
Speaking, giving them fine shadings of pitch and intensity.
I like my glossy black.
Excuse me.
Change the stress on.
I like my glossy black.
If you can change the stress on my.
When phonetic symbols are fed to the synthesizer, it combines them into intelligible speech.
I like my glossy black. I like my glossy black.
I think I'll try to make the inflection
Interesting.
on black a little bit stronger.
I'm not sure about using the voice.
I like my glossy black.
Let's see if I can improve that.
Yet it is already stimulating creative thought in far-out areas. The art of computer graphics is only in its infancy. Yet it is already stimulating creative thought in far-out areas where research is likely to get complex and unwieldy. It offers not only the means to quicken the pace of discovery, but an ideal way of communicating what we may discover.
That might be too much background music in there, but it also might not be. Let's try it out. It is a bit silly. Let's put that there.
The art of computer graphics is only in its infancy. Yet it is already stimulating creative thought in far-out areas where research is likely to get complex and unwieldy. It offers not only the means to quicken the pace of discovery, it offers not and unwieldy. It offers not only the means to quicken the pace of discovery, but an ideal way of communicating what we may discover.
That needs to happen sooner, so...
And unwieldy. And unwieldy. It offers not only the means to quicken the pace of discovery, but an ideal way of communicating what we may discover.
I mean, I might just take that sample of what we may discover and use that a lot.
Communicating what we may discover. We may discover. We may discover. What we may discover. We may discover. What we may discover. What we may discover.
So then if I bring in the delay mix, yeah, I guess a little bit for that crazy modulated delay. And then the ping pong, yeah, we'll bring that quite far up. Actually, if I do 24% and then something like that, ... question mark. Yeah, sure, why not? So then if I, yeah, that'll do. Bosh, 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 and actually that can stay up there.
What we may discover. What we may discover. What we may discover. What we may discover.
Because we could then just take the... Yeah, we could just steal that. Computer graphics. Yeah, screw it, why not? Reach the yeah, screw it phase again.
We may discover. Computer graphics.
It's a long ass piece of music, but it's quite cool. Yeah, I'm quite fond of that little vocal sample. What else? I mean, I do wonder about changing the sound of the pad.
We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us. Nines, which explains why the technique is called computer graphics. Computer graphics.
I think for the yellow section, I quite like having it mostly the B layer. Perhaps not entirely, but maybe like 75. So we'll do that, and then I think we'll just do like a sudden drop. We go like 50-50 for green, and then maybe for blue. Yeah, we'll do mostly that. So if I pants, I've made that hard for myself. So we're going to start off. Yellow starts in the middle. So green is in the middle. Fine. Blue is A83. A83. And we can do that like that. Blue, A83. So then that's yellow is in the middle. Green is in the middle. None of this matters, just for anyone keeping tabs. Middle, and then that goes up to 75, B75. It's just a way to like just again add like just a little bit of change over time. Yeah, that's nice. Maybe in this B layer we have like a little more motion of some kind. We could go envelopes, LFO, step sequencer. We could go to, I don't know, man, something. Let's attach that to maybe just the amplifier. Yeah. How does it fit together?
Computer graphics. Computer graphics. Computer graphics.
We could do some cut-off stuff here as well. That's quite nice. So then we'll do like a little bit here and then a little bit here as well. Just for the script, for the fun of it, you know. It's a 5-minute piece of music. We haven't really done anything with the bass. I'm going to play it from the start, and I'm going to kind of tinker with like levels and the master chain and, you know, boring stuff like that. I'm also going to check that everything's going through the effects end, because I don't know if it is.
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. Our creative powers are being stretched. We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us. Exploring the mysteries of the spoken word. They're about to engage a new breed of computer called Graphic One in a dialogue that will test the ingenuity of both men and machine. It's a new way of working out abstract problems in the age-old medium of drawings and designs, which explains why the technique is called computer graphics. Computer graphics. The art of computer graphics is only in its infancy, Yet it is already stimulating creative thought in far-out areas where research is likely to get complex and unwieldy. It offers not only the means to quicken the pace of discovery, but an ideal way of communicating what we may discover. What we may discover. What we may discover. What we may discover. Computer graphics. Computer graphics.
Quite like it so far.
A new wave of research. Our creative powers are being stretched. We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us. Exploring the mysteries.
Abhorrent
of
Moo,
the
how's it going?
They're about to engage a new breed of computer called Graphic One in a dialogue that will test the ingenuity of both men and machine. It's a new way of working out abstract problems in the age-old medium of drawings and design.
I'm not sure about the kit. Okay, well, right. So, what if we can those? What if we send these to a group channel? And then we deal with those like that. Yeah, I'm doing very well, thank you. So we've got these hi-hat samples and we've got this kick and snare. We're going to send them into one channel so we can kind of screw around with the EQ. The hi-hat, we've just got some equalizer, just getting rid of everything below 240 because it's a hi-hat, you know. The kit is currently not doing anything other than maybe a little too much reverb, but that's fine. So I'm going to loop this. We're going to use the Monster Drums preset because I really like it. I don't want that. I don't want that. It's a little too much. That's nice. That's a bit better. That's better. So let's then look at maybe doing something with Squasher or Razor. This could be where it all goes wrong, to be honest. I mean, no, not that. None of that at all. Let's... Have you know? I'm a big fan of Cubase. I know folks that have used Reason. I like Cubase a lot. I can integrate Reason into Cubase. I think Cubase is quite intuitive to work with. It was the first thing I started using when I was 17, which is a long time ago. And I sort of picked it up and then just gradually learned what I needed to as I needed to go. My big problem with things like, to an extent with Reason, but more with like Pro Tools and Ableton and Logic, is that you sort of seem to need to know quite a lot in order to actually use them. whereas Cubase, you can get away with not knowing much, which is what I've been doing this whole time. I remember first Propel had in Cubase. Interesting. Very interesting. Right, let's try Squasher, the opposite of Razor. I think the problem is I don't really know what I want to hear. Oh, it's that. Okay, that's quite nice. Because then what we can do, we can right click, we can automate that, so when we get to to these green sections, to the verses, which we want to be less less aggressive, we can just automate that down a little bit. That's kind of hidden behind my face here, but there it is. So we're just going to automate that down for these green sections. So we'll keep that at 75%. And luckily we've got a break here. So we can hide our automation. We'll go down to 37%. Let's try that. So we're just going to do this, 37%. Likewise here. Maybe even less than that for that bit, like 20, 18, fine. And then what we were doing, 75, 37. So down to 37, thank you. And then up to 75, and we're going to keep that at 75 forever. Fine. What we're actually going to do is have it so we get a little more compression in the drums as we go along, so it pumps a little bit harder. So we're gonna and this very last bit, we're gonna go up to 82. It's going to be quite subtle, but that's just enough. And actually in this very first one, we're going to be 67. And then in this first, in the first bit of this verse 2, the green section, where it's kind of like a little emptier,
The art of computer graphics is...
we'll bring that down even further to like 19.
The art of computer graphics is only in its infancy. Yet it is already stimulating creative thought in far-out areas where research is likely to get complex and unwieldy. It offers not only the means to quicken the pace of discovery, but an ideal way of communicating what we may discover.
It's a little...
What we may discover. What we may discover.
This is the thing, yeah. So... a lot of delay there. So that idea is kind of something that I do with mastering as well. So we can actually do the same sort of thing with the maximizer mix, which is essentially a limiter, which is just a way to like keep the level kind of consistent throughout. But then when you have a section which you want to be more energetic, more rhythm based, more pumpy, then you increase that mix and you have a better time. And if you want something to be kind of like a little more open, a little more, I don't know, less rhythmic, you're more likely to sway gently than to like jump around, then you bring that compression down a little bit. So I really like the vocal sample. I think it does a really good job. I'm a little annoyed at those little beep boop sounds that come with it.
About how we sense the world around us.
It's quite hard to hide those. So I might leave them in and then come back to it and see what we can do. Track squasher. I might just take that down by 2 decibels. The drum kit just is too loud. I mean, the easiest thing to do there is to bring down the volume of the samples. That's -4. Those are minus nothing. So we'll take those down to -5. We'll take that down to -6 or something like that. Yeah. Are you not in that track as well? Interesting. Oh, it is. Ignore me. Let's send that hi-hat off to the side even more.
Powers are being... We're at the beginning.
Yeah, let's try that. Good shout. Because we've got quite a bit of EQ going on already. You reckon 1 hertz to 3 hertz, so kind of, yeah, this area. If we...
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research.
Let's go turn all of those off for a second.
Search.
We can isolate this. Oops. Return loop on. Here we go. So we can see, I think that's the fundamental frequency. Let's add another instance of EQ. Because we can do that. The problem is that that changes. Well, I mean, that's where the fundamental frequency is, isn't it? We can turn it into a peak and we can really hear it. Like, that's not as loud as... the problem is, I think the background noises change. You know, as in the because it's like documentary voiceover, so it's they're kind of just screwing around in the background with synths and stuff.
Our creative powers are being stretched. We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world.
So actually, for this bit, I'm gonna. This is the kind of tinkering that I would spend. This is the kind of tinkering that I would do until like 3 a.m. If I'm really properly working on it, especially if I'm being paid to work on something. This is the level of attention you get from me. We can just go in and we can automate these in and out. So if we know that that's the kind of the fundamental frequency of the synthesizer that's happening here. So we can just take that frequency gain and we can just automate it in and out depending on what we're doing, like so. We're going to bring that to 0. There we go. And then here likewise 0, so this is going to come in. I mean, you'll see the gain buttons move.
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. Our creative powers, we're at the beginning of a new wave of research.
Is it perfect? No.
We're at the beginning of a new wave. We're at the beginning of a new
Is it
wave
better?
of research.
Yeah.
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research.
It's not like completely there, but it's definitely much more there. Let's turn all of these effects back on.
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research.
That's better. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's never going to be perfect, but it's going to be, you know, as good as we can get it. And actually, like, I know that I can get rid of some of these background noises by going in and doing that, so that's good to know. Is it less intrusive for the track as a whole now?
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research.
I think we're getting to the point where we're hearing it because we know it's there, you know. put some notes. Yeah, I was thinking, actually, could we not just change the key of the song to match whatever's going on in the background? But it changes. More than a key signature should change in a piece of music. If it doesn't kill us, Jesus. Yeah. So that's quite cool. Oh, there was something else I was gonna do. No, it's gone. Is it gone? Maybe it's gone forever. The melody. I do compose. So I do stuff like this. I do this every Monday. This live stream happens once a week, Mondays. We usually wrap up about now, but I'll go a little bit longer because I like this. I compose for film and multimedia whenever I get offers. Like I scored a horror film a couple of years ago, and it's only just been released, and it's doing all right. You know, that's quite fun. So you can also, if you want, hey, thanks for following, buddy. You can check out Blue Alatar or the Musical Endeavour there with those commands, which is me in 2 bands. I say bands, both bands are just me. Right, this lead part, we have a really simple melody. It's not the best melody in the world, but it's functional. How are we going to improve that over time? We can do some simple techniques. We can start off by simplifying it. So what's a version of this with fewer notes? Probably just that. That works. So that's fine. We hear it twice simplified, twice normal, and then let's come over here and let's try to find a way to make it slightly more complicated. We could start with a low tonic. Do some repeats. Yeah, we'll get rid of that low tonic. Yeah, I like that a lot. And it's the same pattern. We're just adding a little more odd rhythm to it. Not even odd rhythm, just more, you know? So then we can bring that in here. So actually we start off with the normal version, then the slightly more complex version. Let's add even more to it. What about that? That's intrusive and annoying, but I quite like it. Let's do the same thing. Maybe not. No, I take it back. Or lower. Yeah, I wasn't sure about, because we've already got one arpeggiator. It's kind of... Yeah, I don't want too many arpeggiators. Let's see how that sounds. But we'll see if there's anything we can change. The glide's quite nice there. I like it with the glide there. I think maybe at that point, maybe it needs to go further into the right ear. Just maybe. Let's try it. Let's try it. Tell you what, actually, let's not do that there. Let's do here the very last 8 bars. We'll take a section of it and we'll kind of just use that. Yeah, so kind of turn it into an arpeggio, I guess. I like that. That works. I'm a big fan of effects. Big fan. I'm going to play this through. We've kind of gone over by about an hour here. Thanks so much for joining us and following, if you have done that today. These streams happen just before we play it for a last time. These streams happen every Monday at 8 p.m. UK time. I set a pre-roll at 7:30. We start at 8. We go usually until 10. We're going a bit longer because there's more of you watching. So that's what we're doing. If you like this, drop us a follow. I am at LTGuitarist on all the places. If you want to, just send me money if you want. I don't really need to justify being poor. Every Monday I'm here. If you have questions about Cubase, I'm a Steinberg certified trainer, so I'm sort of supposed to answer them, I guess. Let's listen through to, I think we're calling this track Computer Graphics, for reasons of sampling. Jazz Dude, thanks again. Always really appreciate you sharing these streams when they happen, and it's always a pleasure to have you in the chat. Truly. Thank you so much. Let's have a listen. And this is the bit where we realise, oh man, we just wasted 3 hours. This is garbage.
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. Our creative powers are being stretched. We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us. Exploring the mysteries of the spoken word. They're about to engage a new breed of computer called Graphic One in a dialogue that will test the ingenuity of both men and machine. It's a new way of working out abstract problems in the age-old medium of drawings and designs, which explains why the technique is called computer graphics. Computer graphics. The art of computer graphics is only in its infancy, yet it is already stimulating creative thought in far-out areas where research is likely to get complex and unwieldy. It offers not only the means to quicken the pace of discovery, but an ideal way of communicating what we may discover. What we may discover. What we may discover. What we may discover. Computer graphics. Computer graphics.
considering that we made that in 3 hours, I think that's pretty good. Considering that we started with nothing, and we sort of wasted 20 minutes being in the wrong key. Thinking we were A minor and not A Dorian. That's pretty good. There's like definitely loads more that we could do to this. Some of it trying to sort of stick a bandage over things that aren't quite right, so we could be a bit more creative. We could change things up. There's loads and loads that we could do, but considering we started with nothing 3 hours ago and now we have a piece of music that is 4 minutes 40 in length, I think that's pretty good going. I will be back Monday 8 p.m. UK time, going till 10 or after. I'm at LTGuitarist on all the places, Twitter, Instagram, for some reason TikTok. See you next time. Take care.